All right, what's up, my brothers? Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some standards specifically. I'm going to say this up front. I'm not a big fan of the rah Tony Robbins stuff, but I had something that came across my social feed that I just want to play for you. It's Tony talking about raising standards. And while he's finished his 2-minute rant here with this, I'm going to top up on that with a little bit more when it comes to leveling yourself up in life as guys. So let's just hop right into this and then hear what he has to say.
The number one thing that's going to change your life, the only thing
There we go.
that will change your life, change your business, change your money, change your relationship, is you must raise your standard. Now, I know that sounds boring, stupid, basic, but it's the truth.
Not wrong.
The only thing that changes our life long term is when we raise our standards. What does that mean? That sounds so boring and dumb. It means that all of us in life have things we want. We don't get what we want. We get what we have to have.
Not true. You get what you deserve.
Remember I said earlier, we all get what we tolerate.
That's true.
In ourselves and other people. But when you're no longer willing to tolerate something, that's when your life changes. The difference in people is their standards, period. The difference in people is their standards, period. And what do I mean by standards? Everyone in the world has a list of things they think they should do. I should lose weight. I should work out. I should spend more time with my kids. I should work harder. I should make more calls. I should. And then you know what? People don't do their shoulds and they get mad at themselves and they what I call shit all over themselves. They beat themselves up about it. What changes people is when your should becomes a must. When suddenly the thing you said should happen has to happen. That's when human beings change. It's like if you want to take the island and you're the head of the army and you want to take the island, the most powerful way to take the island is burn the boats.
He's right about that.
Because if there's no way to go back, it's amazing what happens when it's a must to do something versus a should. That's what makes human beings succeed.
All right, well, that being said, totally agree with like 99% of what he said there. You get out of life what you tolerate, and you also get out of life what you essentially work for, like what you deserve. Raising your standards changes a lot of that. You know, if your standard, like if you've got a very low bar in life, if you've got very low standards as far as what you want for income, for friends, for women, for the kind of car you're going to drive, like let's just talk about something basic as the kind of car that you're going to drive. If your standard is a basic, you know, $10,000, $12,000 roll down window, you know, basic ass AM radio, you know, equipped sort of car, that's your standard. You know, don't be surprised if life hands you things that are commensurate, you know, at that level with that standard. You know, a long time ago, I used to love driving my Subaru WRX, little rally car, the old bug-eyed one from 2002. Throw a tune on it, beat the shit out of it, loved it. It was a fun little car. And then one day a friend of mine threw me the keys to his M3. I think it was a 2002 M3, around the same year as my car. And I was like, wow, this thing feels a lot different. It feels a lot better, a lot more interesting. It wasn't that much faster, but it was like, my standards changed. And after I drove that car, I was like, I haven't driven anything but a German car since. I'm not saying that to be a snob or anything like that, but that's just the standard that I set in my life for the kind of automobile I wanted to daily drive. You know, my standards for my, you know, for my supercar tool, I went from a German Audi R8 to a McLaren 720S. You raise your standards. Now, where do you go from there? 765 LT, you go up, you know, sort of thing. When you hold yourself to standards, when you hold yourself accountable to certain standards, you're going to get results at those standards. Anything below that is not acceptable. Same thing applies to women too, right? You're dealing with women that are toxic. They got all kinds of issues. They're on meds. They got personality disorders. They got 4 kids in tow from 4 different men, sort of thing. You're basically dealing with low-hanging fruit, okay? The standards that you set for yourself in your life are so damn low, you're not going to get fantastic results. You're going to invite a lot of insanity into your personal life. I see guys do this all the time with single moms. They'll be like, oh, you know, there's nothing out there but a ton of women with like children, and I'm at the age and blah, 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 blah. I got loads of friends that are, 39, 40, 42, 45, any number of ages, in midlife, and they're dating women that are their junior, 10, 15, sometimes 20 years, without kids in tow, that are pleasant, that will cook and clean and, help around the house and make their house a home sort of thing, and they complement their life and they're not the focus of it, and, all that good stuff, right? Like, they're not disagreeable, angry, midlife sort of pains in the neck. So when you raise your standards in life, and that's exactly what Tony's talking about in this sort of thing, and again, I'm not his fan. I'm really not, right? There's like a lot of rah and like filler in a lot of the content that he puts out. But I have to agree, like 99% with what was just said there. It is so important for you as guys, if you want to do better in life, you want to get better results, you want to improve your network, your circle of influence, because you're always the average of the 5 people that you're going to spend the most time with. You spend time with 5 fat, broke, dumb losers that do nothing but play video games and work minimum wage jobs. You're going to be the 6. There's no question about it. One of the first things that I had to do when I became an entrepreneur many decades ago was I had to raise my standards in the kind of people and things that I was going to do with my spare time. As soon as I started, invoicing and making some money and, getting into sales, I made a concerted effort to try to put myself in rooms where I was not the smartest guy in the room. If you're the smartest guy in the room, I'll say it again, you're in the wrong room. Get yourself in a better room. You can look around for those better rooms. In some cases, you can buy your way into that room by joining a club, a community, going to a conference, with top shelf guys that are going to be at the event, speakers, that sort of stuff. But you have to make a concerted effort. You have to actually make the fucking effort to put yourself in these better rooms where you're exposed to better people. It applies in all areas of lives, guys. Everything. What you do for a living. What's your standard? Are you just okay with, like, skipping across the bottom, doing basic stuff, and then pointing and sputtering and blaming everybody else for the shit results that you get out of life? That's your fault. It's nobody else's fault. It's not the government's fault. It's not your employer's fault. It's not, whatever degree you've got sitting on the wall that you went to post-secondary school for. That's all your fault. If you have a shitty job that you loathe, you get up in the morning and you hate it, that's the standard that you've set for yourself. Your standard was set at, I want a shitty job, I want to hate my boss, I want to hate my colleagues, I don't like what I'm doing. That's the standard that you've set yourself. How do you improve your life in all areas? You increase your expectations. You increase your standards. I don't think people judge themselves as harshly as they should. One of the things that I got right early on, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's a function of, my family or culture or whatever, but I got this right really early on, is you have to be critical of yourself. There's too many people that are just like, whatever, I'll just accept myself for who I am. Maybe it's like the softer, pussified society that we live in today, where it's like, you're just told to just be yourself and everything will just work out at the end of the day. But it doesn't. A lot of guys have found out that just being a nice guy and being yourself is not enough to attract high quality, beautiful women that are complement to their lives, that don't bring a whole big ass bag of toxicity, it's going to complicate their lives. It's just like, dudes, stop it. Stop expecting so little, out of life for yourself. The moment that you get up in the morning and you realize that you're worth more than what you are, and then you start acting in accordance with that every day with all the choices that you make, women, income, jobs that you're going to do, if you're an entrepreneur, the sort of people that you're going to do business with, friends, circles, you're going to get text messages, you're going to get calls. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? We're going to do this, that, and the other thing, blah, blah, blah. If it's a low standard, if it's a low quality network of people, just decline it or ignore it or just ghost them, find better people. I'm actually heading right now out to meet up with a friend's, so this guy's actually a mutual friend. Like, I know him pretty well, but we've never hung out together one-on-one, but he's like, dude, let's go snowmobiling. All right, let's go snowmobiling, man. I like speed, I like motorcycles, like fast cars. It's snowing, it's cold as fuck out, it's wintertime here in Canada. Let's go make some fun out of it and see what, group of people show up in the snowmobiling crowd. I know there's a few guys in my supercar club in Toronto that roll with sleds, and hey, look, if you're rolling, You know, a friend of mine's got a 765 LT, a Porsche Turbo S, and he's got a couple sleds and some other toys. If there's guys like that that roll in that environment, that's going to be pretty impressive. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a good network of guys. That's going to be a higher standard. So, you know, you have to kind of get out there and like figure these things out, guys. You know, you have to put yourself out there. You have to network with people. You have to hold yourself to high standards. You have to say no. You know, that's the other thing. You know, that's the other really big thing too that he touched on as well, was you're going to get out of life what you tolerate. You tolerate mediocre friends. You tolerate mediocre, you know, sources of income. You tolerate mediocre women. You know, again, they're toxic. They bring nightmares, you know, into your life. What are you going to get? You know, don't be surprised if your life is a circus. It's because you hang out with clowns. Stop hanging out with clowns and your life won't be a circus. Simple as that. Anyway, I think I've beaten the point. That makes a ton of sense. I hope you guys understand exactly what this is all about, and you hold yourselves to some higher standards in life. And, you know, trust me, you start doing that, even if it's like, you know, 1 or 2% better per day, per month, per week, whatever, you're going to see a marked improvement in the kind of results that you get out of life over time. So, you know, hold yourself to some better and higher standards. Don't sulk over bullshit. Don't point and sputter and blame other people for, you know, results that you're getting out of life. What you get out of life is what you tolerate. I can always tell what somebody's belief system looks like by taking a look at the results they get out of life. They have shitty income, they have a shitty car that they hate, they have a shitty relationship, they have shit going on in their life. It's because they have a broken ass belief system. And all you have to do is essentially hold yourself to higher standards and then do the work to get those results. I'm gonna leave it at that. Pinned to the top comment, there's a bunch of useful links that you might want to check out. You want to sponsor a video, join my community, book me for coaching, grab my book, all that good stuff. It's there. Have an awesome day. And that pinned top comment, check it out. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.